the practice of non-attachment, attaching to our words, and we talk about what you say is what you believe. Detaching from words from others, right? Like how many people have felt badly because someone says you are lazy, you are this,
all
right?
of them.
And so you can attach to that, which is a natural instinct, right?
This is big.
But being detached from that, I can observe the words, I can observe their intention, but most importantly, I can observe my reaction to it, right? And that's that objective space where it's like, information is being presented to me as an opinion here on this side, same thing on this side, and maybe even this side, this side, this side. I'm getting all these things projected on me. But if I don't identify with any one of them, I can observe them for what they are and where they're coming from, and then I can
choose what to believe.
Yeah, and I can choose what to believe, and while still being loose. You know, like Alan Watts says, like hold an idea loosely, because as soon as you get pulled into the other side, just the way duality works, as soon as you get into one side, you've automatically created the opposition towards yourself. So you can still, again, like choose a side or choose an opinion to believe, or based on whatever facts you know.
Yeah, because as soon as you give it energy, it becomes real.
Yeah, but while still allowing people to feel their own, right? Because that's their own dharma, their own karma.
That's their stuff. Exactly. Yeah. So what you're saying in reciprocal is you don't have to believe everything that everybody says about you. Nor should you. Okay? So the game is not giving a fuck about what anybody says, yet caring for everyone as a human being at the same time.
Because they're doing the same. They're you. You are them.
Are you. Yeah. And you'll see that 99% of the time when they're throwing shade and they're hating, it's something that they're working on or their insecurities that they're even unaware of.
So don't become like a dirty lint roller where it gets stuck with everybody else's goop.
There's a lot of dirty lint rollers out there. Yeah. Just because you have a thought does not mean it's true. And you don't have to believe it. Just because someone else says something and has an opinion about you doesn't mean you have to believe it.
Yeah.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to The Bridge Podcast. I am your host, Sean Nixon.
I'm your host, Jonathan Matthew.
What's going on, man?
Let's see. Today's the 20th. I've been tracking myself. I do like a daily planner, bullet journal. I track it by a week, not by day necessarily, or by date, rather. Like, because what the fuck does 5/20 something? It means it's the May, whatever, but like today start week 20 for me, so that's a big deal because it's like, wow, 20, that's almost halfway through the year, right?
20 weeks of
20 weeks in.
2021 have already
20 weeks in. Doesn't feel like it. But you're gonna go back, in December, you'll be like, whoa, that year flew by. But like I'm like, it's flying by right now. It's giving me an opportunity to take stock of things and
to pull into the present.
Yeah, it's like, okay, whoa, what have I done 20 weeks in that's significant, right?
Because that's what Bob Proctor was talking about that we were just watching. He's like, if you have an hourglass and there's sand on the top and sand on the bottom, the only thing in reality is that sand in the middle that's moving. There is only now.
Yeah.
So if you spend your time thinking about the sand that already fell, which is the past, or the sand that you have left, because you have finite amount of sand left, time, then you're either living in anxiety in the future or depression in the past. And there is only now.
And that's a great, the hourglass is just a beautiful visual metaphor because it goes right to the single pointed focused moment, which is the now. Right?
Which is now. That's it.
Grains of sand fall through.
That's all we have. So if you think about it, we're going to talk about words today, ladies and gentlemen. Words matter, okay? And matter is energy. Therefore, words are energy.
You don't say.
Suck on that, Albert Einstein. We're making our own formulas.
That's an equation for you.
Well, here's the thing. He said E equals MC squared, right? So energy equals matter times the speed of light squared. So that's how we get physical objects, which are matter, that we know is vibrational energy. But we're here to tell you, thoughts, emotions are also energy.
The stuff you can't see.
Stuff you can't see. What you can touch, smell, see, and hear is less than 1/1,000,000th of reality. There's a lot more going on. Not just X-rays, radio waves, Wi-Fi, gamma rays, all this shit that you can't see, past the light spectrum that you can see of the 7 colors and the spectrum of that. There's so much going on. So your thoughts are energy. Okay, words matter because words cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. When you say something, that shit is coming true. Whether or not you're conscious of it. So when you play the game right and you know what's going on, you can manifest your own future, living in heaven on earth or hell, as so to speak, by your words, thoughts, and actions. Okay? We've heard of abracadabra when they do a magic trick.
Ooh.
Abracadabra means I create as I speak.
Interesting.
So we're not talking about magic, pulling out a rabbit out of a hat and card tricks.
Unless that's what you're manifesting.
Right, and that's cool too, and that's sleight of hand, and that's a separate practice, and that's cool. But while we're talking about word magic and witchcraft and warlocking and wizardry.
Warlocking? War popping and locking?
War popping and locking, dude.
War dropping.
Because magic is real. I'm here to tell you.
I'm a what? You're a wizard, Harry.
You're a wizard.
You're a wizard.
Okay? So that is what manifestation is, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever you want, you put your focus and intention on it. And where you put your intention is where you put your energy. Either be it in the body, because now we're talking about Joe Dispenza taking neuroscience, biology, and combining it with quantum physics, because in the quantum field of waves and particles, there is unlimited potential. You can literally have unlimited possibility of paths, infinite number of paths that you could choose. Your thoughts, beliefs, and actions create your own path, not anybody outside of you.
Yeah, when people talk about, and karma is a whole complex thing within itself, but which is and it's a lot more than what goes around comes around. And part of it is that, but with the quantum field, literally you're putting stuff out in the field, and it's coming back.
It's coming back to you in a vibrational level.
Exactly.
So you can't think this is what I want. You have to think I am grateful.
This is what I have
for what I have. Okay, and that you're already whole and complete. And you're good to go, and this is what you desire. Yeah,
and what you said before, belief, believe, behave too is have. What do you have in this present moment? Is are you behaving like you have what you have? Right?
Behavior is what you have.
Yeah.
Believe means be live. Whatever you believe becomes your life. Okay, that is your reality. Whatever you believe, and we see people now living separate realities in the same 3D space. Not to get into politics or any negative things, but it's like, something about a certain virus and someone else thinks a different thing, but to them that's real. And you can respect everybody else's truth and everybody else's opinion so long as you're not forcing injections and masks on children and everything else. But the point is, they really believe that shit. So that's their reality. And I'm telling you that to tell you this, you can make up a positive reality. And I'm also telling you that to tell you that if they're afraid of a virus that we know that they shouldn't be afraid of in reality, in objective reality, because their subjective reality, they're living in fear, so they're making bad decisions. Yeah. If you're afraid of their decisions, or afraid of an injection, or afraid of living in fear of them shedding spike proteins and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You're still living in the vibrational level of fear, judgment,
it doesn't. Shame. Yeah, the what never matters. It's how you relate to it.
How you relate to it, it's vibration. So it's not faking it, and it's not being positive all the time. It's vibrating, living, thinking, and behaving on a level of gratitude and love versus shame and fear.
Yeah, that's part of that is, especially with words too, because not the practice of non-attachment, attaching to our words, and we talk about what you say is what you believe. Detaching from words from others, right? Like how many people have felt badly because someone says you are lazy, you are this, right?
All of them.
And so you can attach to that, which is the natural instinct, right?
This is big.
But being detached from that, I can observe the words, I can observe their intention, but most importantly, I can observe my reaction to it, right? And that's that objective space where it's like, information is being presented to me as an opinion here on this side, same thing on this side, and maybe even this side, this side, this side. I'm getting all these things projected on me, but if I don't identify with any one of them, I can observe them for what they are and where they're coming from, and then I can
choose what to believe.
Yeah, and I can choose what to believe, and while still being loose. Like Alan Watts says, like hold an idea loosely, because as soon as you get pulled into the other side, just the way duality works, as soon as you get into one side, you've automatically created the opposition towards yourself. So you can still, again, like choose a side or choose an opinion to believe, or based on whatever facts you know.
Yeah, because as soon as you give it energy, it becomes real.
Yeah, but while still allowing people to feel their own, right? Because that's their own dharma, their own karma.
That's their stuff, exactly. Yeah. So what you're saying in reciprocal is you don't have to believe everything that everybody says about you, nor should you. Okay, so the game is not giving a fuck about what anybody says, yet caring for everyone as a human being at the same time.
Because they're doing the same. They're you. You are them.
Are you.
Yeah.
And you'll see that 99% of the time when they're throwing shade and they're hating, it's something that they're working on or their insecurities that they're even unaware of.
So don't become like a dirty lint roller where you get stuck with everybody else's goop.
There's a lot of dirty lint rollers out there.
Yeah.
Just because you have a thought does not mean it's true. And you don't have to believe it. Just because someone else says something and has an opinion about you doesn't mean you have to believe it.
Yeah, because like you said, those things will become subconsciously imprinted into who you are.
Okay.
Just like, we talk about like imprinting, and the subconscious mind specifically doesn't take into account necessarily intent or intention or context, right?
No, it's running 24/7. Your subconscious believes everything.
So it's it's just kind of like Google and Amazon. If I say like I hate Lay's potato chips, they suck, I'll get an ad for Lay's potato chips.
Doesn't care about the hate.
It didn't hear I hate those chips, they suck. It just heard Lay's potato chips.
That's how the universe works.
So your subconscious mind is like, I'm trying to think of an example.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not depressed.
I'm not or this is a good one. Like I hate racism. It's like, well, racism.
It's still in there.
Racism.
So that brings me up to two things. How I said instead of working on my anger, I'm going to start working on my patience, and just switching that word made me more patient because my subconscious is not hearing the word anger.
Yeah, Abraham Hicks refers to it as like picking up the other end of the stick.
Yes. Whitney and I were just talking about this.
Really, perfect. Yeah, so it's because it's understanding of that duality that you have. Once you're aware of it, like the negative of like I'm working on my anger, working on my patience, right? You can choose now.
You might as well pick up the patience side of the stick. It's the same stick.
Exactly. You can pick up the head of the snake or the tail of the snake, right?
Exactly. And that's the thing. And it also reminds me of Mother Teresa. They got on her case. They were like, "How come you're not coming to anti-war rallies?"
Yo, Mama T, what's up?
And she was like, "Fuck anti-war. When
Pro-peace.
you make a pro-peace rally, I'm gonna be there." Because that's how words work. She understands the game.
Yeah.
Now, when you say witchcraft and you say this, there's black magic, there's shadow aspect to everything.
Yeah.
And so this is what the powers that be in the media use repetitive fear messaging to get into your subconscious. You're going to die, fear, everyone looks different, divide yourself by gender, race, religion, color. You're more separate than
it's
equal.
Even like in like inconspicuous like parts of marketing too. Just
it's all marketing
because you're selling because all of capitalism and selling stuff is like selling. It's like selling you an idea, right? And if you need this, they're selling you need something, right? So by that virtue alone, they're saying
you're in a state of lack.
And you're not enough, right?
You're not enough. You're not good enough. You need this thing to be better, to be whole and complete. And then you're just chasing your tail.
Exactly. Where it's really it's that possibility, right? The quantum field of possibility, focusing on what is possible, getting curious about what you need, not attaching to anything or this or that, or like I only buy Mac products, even if this Mac product particularly sucks.
Right.
That's like a dogmatic
thing. So it's just awareness and zooming out, and like you said, detaching. Because it's like, I'm absolutely perfect. That doesn't mean I'm not getting better.
Yes.
I'm a work of art and a work in progress.
Yeah, exactly where you're supposed to be.
It's perfect.
Right now.
It's absolutely perfect right now. Yeah. And that means every moment, because there's only now, I'm working to get better on top of that.
And the words you use.
Oh, that's what creates everything. Because your thoughts become your beliefs, and then your beliefs become your words, and your words influence your behavior, and that creates your reality.
Yeah, Lao Tzu is the Lao Tzu quote from the Tao Te Ching is, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, becomes your destiny.
Your destiny is your reality. That's the path that you're walking. It starts with your thoughts.
Yeah.
And once again, every thought that pops into your head, you don't have to attach to it. You don't have to believe it. Be aware of it and observe it. And how's the best way to do that? Mindfulness throughout the day, zooming out, breathing, detaching, and a meditative practice. Which we'll harp on over and over and over again. We both lift weights. We both do yoga. We both played sports. We both pump music and bang weights. And sports and movies and all these things. But we're always going to tell you, breathing through your nose and becoming aware of your thoughts in a meditative practice is going to save everybody's life.
Yeah, there's a reason why like every single ancient sage meditated. It's not because it wasn't working. Right. There's a reason for that.
Send me the studies. Well, first of all, there's plenty of studies. And second of all, we're bridging ancient wisdom and modern science.
Exactly.
For thousands and thousands and thousands and
your body is, your spinal cord is the wire and your brain is the antenna, right? So most of your thoughts, like are just coming in, right?
They're non-local.
They're non.
Thoughts come
not
from the
generated.
collective consciousness.
Yeah,
You're not generating.
Filtering through.
They're coming through like a cloud. You can't grab onto that cloud.
It's like trying to listen to 8 radio stations at the same time,
That's
right?
exactly
You got
what
to
people
tune
do.
in, right?
You tune into one at a time, singular focus in a meditative practice.
There you go.
All right, I love this shit. All right. So speaking of the Matrix, Bruce Lipton is a biologist. All right, and he says the movie The Matrix with Keanu Reeves is not a movie; it is a documentary. And once you get that, and if you haven't seen this movie in a long time, watch it again. Everything that Neo, Keanu Reeves, tries to do, he can't do until he believes in himself. And once he believes it, it becomes real. And then he can see the Matrix, which they, in the movie, decrypt as like a computer program, computer simulation, so to speak, to visualize this quantum field of waves and particles that exist in objective reality that you use your words, thoughts, actions, and beliefs to manifest any outcome that you want.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So it gets tricky manifesting physical things because, like you said, you have to be grateful for what you already have and say that you're whole and complete so you're not in a survival mode and a lower vibration because then the universe is not going to give you goodies and Lamborghinis and treats.
Yeah, I think it's really, you have to, which is where people are like, well, it's dumb, because I tried manifesting, what you did was you kind of wished for it,
You
right?
wished, I don't have it, I wish.
Right.
Jesus said, pray as if it has already been done. You're thanking God, the universe, whatever, grateful for the gifts that you're about to receive.
Yeah, every prayers in religious practices are just
It's just gratitude.
Gratitude. Like, thank you, God. I'll walk by you.
Yep. So I think to pull it into maybe fitness and health, be grateful for your health. Be grateful for your muscle. Be grateful for your body fat percentage, your leanness, your fat loss.
Yeah.
Because if you keep saying, I want to lose weight, but you don't change your thoughts and feelings, you're just going to be the same person 20 pounds later.
Yeah.
And that's why people yo-yo diet and go backwards. Because the subconscious is not a new person. All you did was lose physical matter.
Yeah.
You didn't change the thought stream and the trillions and trillions of cells interconnected with
Words,
the subconscious.
actions, habits, character, right?
It's kind of big.
And then, where are you manifesting from? Because who are you that's manifesting, right? So that's really important.
thing.
Are you manifesting from all the layers of ego and all the layers of thoughts, all the layers of identity, or are you manifesting from a space of oneness and connectedness? So I think that's what is the nuance that's often forgotten. It's like people are like, okay, I know I need to meditate because this told me to, but I'm just gonna do a little bit, not take it too seriously, but I want to manifest. That's what I'm focused on is the thing. Everybody wants the outcome, but it's like the work is the
feelings,
because
the emotions.
Because unless you're connected to that, unless you're that connected to the power source, the power source, you're manifesting from a lower vibrational state, like
That's
you said.
it. And you're making matter with matter. So what matter needs, because matter is 3D, so matter needs the fourth dimension, time and space. You have to have space for that three-dimensional matter, and you have to have time to go by it. That's 4D, right? But if you're manifesting from 5D, which is a spiritual realm, it's quicker because you're not worrying about space and time, you're worried about time-space. So we flipped it on its head. You can get things in this dimension much quicker through thoughts and belief. Because that's why we are here as human beings, is to feel things. Okay?
Experience.
You have a cerebral cortex, a spinal column, and energy centers, which are chakras and glands, that allow you to secrete neurotransmitters and hormones that allow you to feel things. And that is how everything works. So if you want to zoom out and make it more practical, that's how every commercial, we were just watching UFC on Saturday, you were like, oh, this must be a Google commercial because they're going for the heartstrings.
Yeah.
You either need to get shock, laughter, empathy, or like some type of heartstring sorrow to make them feel. Because you're going to remember when you have that feeling, oh, Google, oh, Apple, whatever, right? The sand, you're like, oh, how does that make sense? You remember your traumas and the horrible things that happened to you based upon the feeling that's attached to that.
That trigger, right?
That's what a trigger is.
Planting.
It brings you back to that.
Yeah.
You're not physically there, but it feels like you're physically
it's
there.
Like fucking, it's like the Winter Soldier, right? It's like...
Yes. He says certain words.
It's like a Geico insurance, 15 minutes more or less.
That's
and all of a sudden you programs and you go, I need to go get...
That's literally what advertisement is. So we take that same science and that same magic. I call it magic because it's cool and it kind of is. But it's quantum physics, and I only know like a 101 like Joe Dispenza type of level of quantum physics, so I sound pretentious saying, the quantum field, because there's waves and particles.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. That's over my head. So I say magic because at the end of the day, it legitimately is. So that same science and that same magic that has you stuck in old habits, old memories of trauma, I am this, I am that, that's why I feel this way in the present moment, that means you can feel gratitude and happiness for a future moment in the present.
Whoa.
And that's the game. Think about that. You feel like shit because something shitty happened to you in the past. Once you detach and let that go, you can feel good and grateful for things coming in the future. Your future self already exists. We already said that. In the quantum field, there's unlimited, infinite potential. And you already have died.
Yeah.
But you've lived out infinite lives that you can tap into any path that you choose.
That's once you're aware that you have a choice, right?
So here's the thing. The game changes once you're aware you have a choice. And now is where I'm getting into less books and videos and podcasts and more personal experience.
Just going deep in.
I was the guy that always used to walk around and be like, I'm fat, I'm poor, I'm bald, I'm depressed. But when you say
1, 2,
I
3,
am, 4. Yeah, the combo fucking platter, dude. And when you say I am, your subconscious goes, okay, that's what he wants. So that's the path you stay on. And I stayed depressed and lazy and lonely and sad because that's what I was manifesting with my words. The other day, I thought 2 negative thoughts and they came true immediately. And I've been thinking interesting, I don't even want to say positive, like interesting things for the podcast and interesting. Next thing you know, they messaged me on Instagram. Like, boom.
There you
go. I'm straight up manifesting shit left and right.
Just conducting.
And then I build upon that positive energy and use that momentum by affirming it every single time. I keep saying everything I say comes true. And then you'll like look at the clock and there's 222, 444, 1111. And you're like, that's a wink from the universe because those synchronicities are breadcrumbs showing you that you're on the right path.
You're aligned.
And you're like, that's bullshit. Whether or not you believe it, it's true.
Yeah.
Because people wearing 2 masks in the car is bullshit, but they believe it.
Yeah.
So I hope, that they feel safe. They're still living in fear because of conditioning and programming. But point being is, they believe that's helping them. That's why they are doing that. So if I believe 1111 is helping me and my words are helping me, then it becomes true. Because I seen it.
Only in some circumstances, right? Because if you're taking like heroin, you believe that's good for you.
Right, but that's negative consequences. So you're still manifesting a future there.
Yeah, but if you believe that's good for you, right, that's attachment, right? Because that's addiction, right? So
you're holding on to something.
Yeah.
Whether it's because good or bad is subjective.
That's why, especially with I think like free writing out your thoughts too can be just like a really good practice of letting go.
Huge. Let's talk about that.
I read
journaling. You're saying.
Yeah, and then it's like a thought stream kind of deal.
Yes.
So like I've
take it out of your head, put it in the external hard drive.
Yeah.
Now you don't have pinball machines going off, monkeys jumping in the bed when you're trying to sleep or focus on something.
Yeah, and it's just like you're keeping it in that jar, hoping that like if it's shut, I don't have to deal with it. If it's shut, I have to deal with it.
But you can't read the label when you're inside the jar.
Ooh.
You got to zoom out, open the top.
This is one of those weird peel back sticker ones.
Fuck the peel back sticker.
I hate those. Why do they say that?
Everybody hates those.
Who's looking at that stuff? Anyway. Julia Cameron, she has like in her famous book, The Artist's Way, that's a big practice of hers. But I saw this post on Instagram from Chris Do. So if anybody who's like a marketing, graphic design, content creator person, Chris Do is definitely a guy to follow. Awesome. I definitely check that out for him out for sure. But he had this great thing about like, why are you afraid to write? And it's like because when you put your words out, there's this vulnerability, there's this nakedness to them. There's this vulnerability that they're on paper, they're a thing. Even if it's just you in your room, right? Like you've ever felt the apprehension to write something, or especially if it's something important you have to write too. You're like, I'm worried about being exposed, right? So having your thought stream come out and just not being afraid to see it and observe it as it is, and just let it be. Like even if it's like ends up becoming angry, or if it becomes sad, or if it's like
let it flow.
Let it out of the jar, and then observe it, sit with those feelings, sit with that word, sit with those feelings, because that, like, the paradox, I always go back to the Chinese finger trap thing.
Yes.
You gotta go into it.
You gotta go inward.
to release it. So you lean, and then people say lean into it, or lean to your edges, like lean into that negative stuff. Will allow you to detach from it.
Yep.
Which is like the counterintuitive. It's like a car. When you ever hit a skid,
Turn into
you ever
it.
hit ice? It goes against base instinct. You're like, I have to overcorrect this way. It's like, no, you need to
Do less.
do less. Go into it. The fear instinct is the opposite of that, right? Because it
Not making
doesn't
decisions
understand.
in fear.
Yeah, because the truth is nature and the reality is paradoxical to our way of thinking, to like that three-dimensional fight or flight way of thinking.
Yep.
But if you can objectively detach from that, we'll get those words out on paper, get all
Big
that
deal.
self-talk on paper. Whoa, like that's in the jar. Now I can begin to reconstruct how I want to say that, right? So it's a free release. You know?
It's a free release. So if you're looking for homework and like pros to follow upon this, we're talking about Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, Joe Dispenza, Abraham Hicks, maybe even Bob Proctor.
Wayne Dyer.
Wayne Dyer for sure. Just to throw a couple of names out, and the people that know the game, that's how they use it. All right. And I've been doing this new meditation. I want to tell you, I have 2 meditation techniques. Maybe we'll talk about. The one's hard to explain. It's a little ridiculous for a podcast. The other one is weird, but I can explain it with words. So if you know,
Just hanging from your
it's
nutsack.
if you
from
know,
the
you know.
ceiling.
Well, that's every day.
That's every day.
That's just
Gotta stretch them out.
important. Yeah, you do the helicopter.
Myofascial release.
Well,
Yeah.
a whole bunch of that. My friend Chrissy gave me some YouTube links to like Cryon downloads essentially that are channeled, and then the guy speaks out the talks, and he was saying, and it fucking works, that when you tap into meditation, you can talk to your cells because you are not your body. Your cells are working for you.
Yeah.
Right. So you get like this tingles and jingles and this like happy sensation where the cells light up because they're, according to his words, picking up the phone and listening to you, your higher self,
Interesting.
talk to them. I've been doing it every day. It's fucking amazing.
Feeling tingly?
And I go, yeah, tingles and jingles. Then I go, I forget like how I call them in. I'm like, hey cells, like, are you listening? I say something like that, and I fucking just start feeling good, like electricity. And you get the light beaming through the crown chakra. Heart opens up a little bit, which I'm still working on. You get the beams coming out the feet. You know what I mean? Pushing that energy out, grounding. And then I say to the cells whatever I want. I'm like, heal me, reproduce, do your thing, and they do it.
Okay, boss.
We are loved. We are whole.
You got Osmosis Jones in there?
Yes, literally that. And make a movie in your head.
Yeah.
Make a visualization so you make it real. You think about the cells, fucking
Just doing their
Osmosis
thing,
Jones
yeah.
doing their thing.
Yeah, well, I remember the very, very first time I even like heard of like that concept of just like self-healing on that level was
Yes.
my friend brought up when I was in high school because he was really into like East Asian history and samurai stuff, like
Awesome.
traditional formal martial arts versus like like boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, which is more modern
Old
martial
school
arts,
shit, yeah.
like old school stuff. He was telling me one time, might have been senior year, like about this like study or this monk who literally healed his broken arm by
Yes.
by imagining there's like little people in his
Yes.
like pulling the bones together and reconnecting and building it back together, right? And so like that's imagining, envisioning yourselves.
That's what Joe Dispenza does at his workshops.
Yeah.
He has you imagine shit mending itself together, and it works every time. Because here's the deal: 99% of all disease can be healed by your body, not from pills, not from injections. 1% of disease is genetically inherited, and that sucks. And it doesn't mean your life is over. Type 1 diabetes, certain
Yeah.
things, including cancer, including viruses, including broken bones, whatever. When you go to the doctor for a broken bone, he does not fix it. He gives you painkillers and he sets the bone so the body can
heal
heal it.
itself. Yeah.
The body heals itself with the right time and conditions. So you're talking about, or even our guy, Dr. Campbell, thoughts, beliefs, love, compassion. I forget, he has 7 like rules to healing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to believe that you're going to be healed, because when you're staying in a fear state, now you're in survival mode and the body's not going to heal itself.
Yeah, for like the skeptics out there, which is healthy skepticism is good because
Sure.
as much as
You got to question everything.
yeah, think for yourself means questioning everybody, including us,
and yourself.
and yourself, right? At all times.
All we're saying is
Continually.
don't blindly listen to teachers, parents, certainly peers, and most certainly politicians and media.
Yeah.
Take what they're saying. Is this true? Is it true all the time? Cross-reference sources.
Yeah.
Including us, including your own
Yeah, and
thoughts.
do that as a practice,
practice.
of just like, what do I believe now? Why do I believe it? Right?
Yeah, don't get stuck in beliefs.
Yeah. like even on a weekly basis. What was I saying before that?
Check into your thoughts and question everything. Healthy skepticism.
Yeah, healthy skepticism. Yeah, for the skeptics out there, why would you like? Say you have an expectation. It's like, okay, well, how do I know it's going to work? Well, for one, there's only one way to know, is to try it,
Yes.
right? And if it's a long-term commitment, if you're really committed to getting healthier and healing, then why would you not long-term commit? It's because you want a short, quick fix. Quick fixes only ever come in the form of suppression or repression. In terms of medication on a physical level, suppression of symptoms, which doesn't fix the root of the issue. So you're just living it out and just keep bottling it down. Same thing on an emotional level. Keep repeating patterns and making bad decisions and negative thoughts, and you just keep suppressing, thinking it's going to go away. Yeah, me too.
Been there, playing the same movie over and over again. Same thought.
Yeah, so if you have a broken bone, and say maybe even do take painkillers because it fucking hurts like shit, right?
Yeah, we're not saying all medicine is bullshit.
But why would you not want to believe that you could be healed, right? What and dive into that. Well, why am I skeptical about trying to heal with my mind? Like, what is the block there? Because I think it's too woo-woo because I was turned off by somebody who was woo-woo that may rub me the wrong way, right?
Scammer, perhaps?
Yeah, because who knows why.
Because there's snake oil sales.
Because there's a reason why people are atheists. Atheists don't exist without God, right? Like
something has to exist for you to deny.
Exactly. It's usually some sort of negative experience with religion.
That's
right?
what I was going to say. It's a negative experience.
So if you have a negative experience with, the law of attraction or manifestation or scammers out there that are manipulating it for their own purposes versus just tapping into what we know of quantum physics.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Bringing in science.
That's such a great point.
And just what you want for your own life.
That's a great point. Yeah,
why would you not even give it a shot, right?
I love that. So that brings me to two things. First, Joe Dispenza says his shit works 100% of the time because you're either going to get what you want or you're going to be so happy and grateful that you just start giving things away.
Realize that you didn't even need it in the first place.
You didn't even need it in the first place. Like, do you really want a Lamborghini? Maybe. No, you wanted to feel like a baller and get the feeling and status symbol and adoration and happiness from the Lamborghini. So if you can bypass the Lambo that costs $200,000, which you could make $200,000 with enough time and work in 3D, but if you bypass the Lambo and get to happiness, you're like, fuck, let's just go do some charity work. Let's just fucking help somebody.
Yeah.
I want to give some of this love away. My cup is full already. Fuck the Lamborghini. Let's take that $200,000.
Yeah, it's like the one guy I remember saying because I thought
you're winning.
Yeah, I thought it was a funny one because it's one that definitely, which is the kid wanted to get taller, right? Like he was like 5'6" or something like that. It was always made fun because he's short. He's like, I want to manifest being 6 foot, right? And then he was talking about how he did this practice, and he's a young kid, and he's like, he was doing it and doing the work. Like after a while, he's like, I realized I didn't even want to get taller. I just wanted to feel like worthy,
more powerful, more worthy,
like
respect
enough,
from girls, something like that.
Yeah.
So you just go straight to that. Go straight to the feeling.
Yeah.
It's not the thing.
It's the feeling.
A lot of feelings.
It's what you have, right? It's behaving like you have what you need.
Act as if you already have it. Like we said before, fake it till you make it. People like saying that because it rhymes, but that turns off so many people because they hear the word fake and they're like, I don't want to be fake. I'm not that. So what I say is faith it till you make it. Ooh. Believe in yourself and believe in the universe. Only good things happen. Yeah. In the moment, it seems shitty because there is a lot of suffering in 3D, a lot. But when you zoom out, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. Everything is just an opportunity. You have to pay for it up front a lot of times with suffering. Yeah. But then the lessons you learn and the growth and strength that you get is priceless.
And and that's Buddhism is the world is suffering, and attachment is the root of suffering, right? Suffering ceases when attachment ceases, right? Because when you say, well, that's easy for you to say that everything's positive, like my life is shit, these are negative things are happening, I've been this, and this.
Sure.
Again, like you said, zooming out in two different ways. Zooming out of your perspective your whole life. You don't know what's going to happen at the end, right? Viktor Frankl was in a Nazi concentration camp.
Several.
Man has, the last of man's true freedoms is to choose his own way, right? And then on another level of, zooming out of who you are, there's from the Upanishads, this famous quote Alan Watts is famous for having a lecture about, Tat Tvam Asi, thou art that. So you think, well, my life is so shitty, I am this. Well, who is you for one, right? Because you can't see, human beings are so caught in like our perspective of time, and that's just the way we're supposed to be, right? We rarely live past a certain age, and so like every year comes by, we're like, wow, oh, year went by really quick, right? And meanwhile, there's been eons and eons of infinity going on, right? But you can't see like how the whole timeline of the entire universe is going to play out, of the Earth is going to play out. And when you can see that in a broader perspective, you can let go. But if you're attached to your own moment of reality, which is different from living in the present, but attached to who your identity is, that's what that makes that suffering, right? If you realize like, I'm just a being that's experiencing suffering as a part of the suffering of the world,
The collective.
then I have a couple options, right? That means I am a part of the collective. That means I can influence the collective, right?
Right. That's how we win. So we've said before, the suffering is inevitable, and your pain times your resistance to it and your attachment to it equals how much suffering you're going to experience. Yeah. So the pain part is on you.
Yeah, and there's just going to be...
The suffering is inevitable.
It's going to happen, right?
But the more you hold on and attach to it, or even push away and resist,
because the resistance is attachment too.
I'm depressed. I'm a non-smoker. I've been not smoking for 7 days, 3 hours, 22 minutes, and 5 seconds. And it's like, you're just so attached to being a smoker or a not smoker instead of being something better in the future. And like I said, so many people, Alcoholics Anonymous, they've done a lot of good for a lot of people. But I'm saying the language matters. When you say, "Hi, I'm John. I'm an alcoholic," you're cementing in your subconscious that you're always an alcoholic, and now you're dependent on them. Instead of using the teachings and the community and the connection to learn, hey, I am not depressed. I'm fucking perfect.
Yeah.
I temporarily experience some symptoms of anxiety or depression. This too shall pass. I am something separate. You're zooming out and detaching once again.
Yeah.
And my friend Kate told me the opposite of addiction is connection. So instead of connecting and holding on to a substance or a thing that you're repeating over and over again and get a negative results, connecting with other people that have empathetic stories and feelings. Oh, I had that type of suffering too. How about you put that down?
Yeah.
And we walk each other home together.
Yeah. Get that out of your hand. Hold my hand.
Yes,
right?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Let go of that.
And then attachment too it's also like you bring up connection with others, because attachment can be we think of attachment related to ourselves, like attachment to addiction's the biggest attachment people can think of usually, right? Like addiction to alcohol.
Which could be anything. You could be addicted to negative thoughts.
Thoughts.
I've done it all.
Yeah. But say, for example, in terms of a relation to another person, attachment too is also like I hate you or that type of person, or I don't like this person. Right now you're attaching you to being you and them to being them. So now you
with the negative energy,
and now you fix both of you into we can't change now because you're I hate that, and that is what you are.
Instead of hating an action, a behavior, or words.
Yeah, and that's
detached from them.
Detached
and from you.
Yeah, and understand the relativity there. Like you can only change as much as the resistance to things around you, right?
Boom.
Because the moment, like you say, like parents do this to kids all the time. Like, stop being you're being lazy. You're lazy, right? You're telling them you're lazy. You're lazy. Well, you're lazy. And how is that programming the kid now, right?
You think now parents are doing their best.
And they're frustrated. Like
they're frustrated.
Dealing with fucking kids all day, right?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I never done it, so I can't speak on it.
So they're trying to. They don't want you to be lazy, but they're using the wrong words.
And now that kid. And how often does this happen if you know as a parent, or even as a kid? How much do you feel resistance to that when your parents say, like,
of course, you don't want to do what your parents say.
Yeah, well, now you act spitefully. Now you're both attaching yourselves.
Been there.
And unable to change because of that, right?
Been there, done it.
So be mindful of what you say towards other people, because you may be limiting their ability to change.
Yes.
By limiting your own ability to see them differently, right?
With yourself. Yeah. And change the whole game, man. Change the whole fucking game. If you want to change your life, change your thoughts. Okay? If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting.
Yeah.
I played that same game over and over again until I realized that I was just stuck in a loop. And I was like, shit, I'm going to change everything. I'm going to change everything.
The way I kind of envisioned it was like I had in my head, it was like on a path, right? Like you're taking the elevator up and like, oh, I'm growing. And then there's like a little nice, like a little gold coin here on the side, or a little apple or a candy or a fruit, whatever.
Ooh,
and you get up on that level. And you're chasing that, and it brings you back down the stairs, but you're just focused on the candy. And it brings you back down to the very start. And you're like, I'm back here again. I'm just going to go up on the elevator. Oh, piece of candy. I'm chasing the candy, and I'm back down where I started from. And you don't even see it because you think you're on the path.
Yes.
But you're just chasing a thing, right? You become attached to this idea of something.
Instead of growth and positivity and gratitude itself.
Yeah, and being
falling
able to
in
say
love
no.
with love. Being
Yeah.
grateful for gratitude for life itself, and just taking that elevator all the way up.
And then part of taking the elevator up is learning, and non-attachment is learning to say no to your thoughts, right? Because you can't control what thoughts are coming in. You ever
Nope.
have like those fucking random thoughts, like, well,
Yep.
like same thing with dreams. It's just your subconscious
And you
throwing shit
can't
in
force
there.
it out either. You can just replace it
Yeah.
and alchemize it and transmute
And
it.
just let it go, right?
And let it go.
It's like, that's an interesting thought. I don't have to hold on to it.
Nope.
There's that loop. There's that pattern again. I fucking want to hold on to that shit, but I'm not going to let it go. Okay, right? You just got to practice staying in that space with it. You know, like staying in, in that space with the in the cave with the demons, the Milarepa in the cave with the demons. Practice sitting with those negative things, because that's how you're going to be able to let them go.
Because when you try to hate and fight the demons, they
Makes
fucking
them-
fight back.
makes them stronger.
Makes them stronger. They feed off of fear and hate. And this is...
Because by fighting against something, you're cementing it more as a
Making it
threat
real.
and a reality, right?
Yes. Instead of bringing them in and sitting them down and making friends with them.
Yeah, Buddha was like when the demon Mara, the epitome of evil, came to Buddha. He's like, I made you tea. Let's have some tea together. And the demon just disappeared.
Disappeared. Oh, there's no hate here.
Oh, okay.
There's no fear here for me to feed off of.
Yeah, Milarepa said we should talk more. We should talk more about philosophy and Buddhism sometime. And most of them disappeared except the one scary one, which he had to go pop his head into to show.
I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
I'm here. I'm going into it.
I'm vulnerable.
What do you want to do?
Exposed.
Love that shit.
Balls in your court, bitch.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? And you check the ball to them and it just bounces right by because they disappear. I love that shit because that's where fear is a hell of a drug. Makes
It's a hell of a drug.
makes you make bad decisions, and that's how you control people. That's why we want to rise above that vibration into gratitude. Trade your guilt for gratitude. Trade your fear for love.
Yeah.
This is good
When you
stuff.
fear, you attach. Right. When you attach, you suffer.
That reminds me of one time I was doing like a Vipassana meditation where I'm thinking of like thoughts that like thought I could use my mind to slay some demons myself, right? So I summon Saint Michael, and he comes in with the fucking wings and the sword, and I'm like, Saint Michael's gonna fucking give me a sword, and me and him are gonna be fighting back to back like Lethal Weapon, with fucking Mel Gibson and Danny Glover and shit, with the fucking angel wings and the badass fucking, he slays all the bad guys,
You
right?
got baseball bat with barbed wire.
Yes. And he comes to me, and I'm like, what are we going to do, St. Mike? And he goes, you have to love your shadow. You have to love your demons. Give them even more love and kindness and compassion.
That's how it is, man.
And, dude, I'm just crying like a baby, and he just flies off, and the demons just fucking disappear. Because that's how you fight hate with love.
Yeah.
You can't fight
There is no fighting
darkness. You're swinging in the darkness.
Yeah.
No, there's no fighting hate.
Punching your
You gotta
shadow.
light your
Take
light.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
You light the light, and then your light gets rid of the darkness.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it
This
shine.
little light of mine.
Dude, with all the songs you've been singing, we gotta start an album. We got a record.
Dude,
A record,
Bridge
an album.
coming out.
The Sean Nixon Christmas special.
Dude.
Holiday special. We're keeping it.
We'll do all the songs, because at the end of the day, they go all to the same thing. Let's wrap up real quick by talking about sports figures. Like I said, Muhammad Ali used to say, I am the greatest.
I'm gonna show you how great I am.
He was really so much talking shit to the other person. He's pumping up his subconscious, so he
Yeah.
believes in himself. Michael Jordan did the same thing. Mike Tyson did the same thing. I'm the greatest. I'm the baddest motherfucker on the planet.
Best motherfucker on the planet.
That's exactly how he said it.
Best
And
list ever.
He believed that shit. Whatever you believe is true. You create your own reality, like we were saying in The Matrix. Keanu Reeves, went to jump from one rooftop to another. And as soon as he doubted himself, he couldn't do it. Later in the movie, he believed in himself, and he did it.
Believe you're the one.
He goes to see the Oracle, and he asks, am I the one?
And she says, are you?
Are you? And there's an awkward silence, and he goes, oh, I guess not then. And she goes,
Because he was waiting for external validation.
He was waiting for external validation. Fuck what anybody else thinks. She didn't say yes, and she didn't say no.
She just wanted to see what he said.
She wanted to see what he believed, because other people's opinions don't mean shit. What
Yeah.
you believe about yourself is all
And that's
that
true
matters.
because on the flip side, Morpheus believed he was the one, and
It
not,
didn't
not,
matter
not
either.
even that mattered,
Great
right?
point. Great point.
So someone can believe the shit out of you, but if you're not believing
And even
in
though he
yourself,
was the one, she had to hear him say it and believe it himself.
and he had to be put in a situation, a life or death situation
Back
for
against
him,
the wall.
back against the wall, for him to really pull that out of himself,
And
right?
then he turns, and the little boy is there, bending a spoon with his mind. And Neil's like, how the hell do you do that?
the
He's like, trying to do it.
Yeah.
And he goes, no. There is no spoon. It's all in your mind.
You are the spoon.
You are the spoon.
Once you bend, the spoon bends.
That's it. Control your mind, control your thoughts, love yourself, talk to yourself positively
Use
in the
them
mirror
words.
every single day. Words are magic. Make magic. Peace.